Hello, welcome to Moonshine Drum Making. Soak your drum hide for 24 hours. Bring it out on a clean surface. Choose your north or top or 12 o'clock of the hide and place it in front of you. Hole punch a 1/2 inch to 1 inch from the edge of the hide and a 1/2 inch to 1 inch far apart from each other. This will ensure strength in your drum making. Be sure that when you set your wood ring that there is proper spacing for these holes. Fold the hide in half to mark across the hide where to place your next set of holes. When you punch your holes, you are creating portholes to release negativity, all negative energies released. Every time you punch your holes into your hide, you're clearing out something old and creating a new opening. Continue to fold and mark your hide until all of your holes are complete. Your drum ring should sit nicely with spacing evenly around. Be sure that it is centered well. To select the length of sinew, you must identify the number of connections to the drum. So if there are 8 points at which the drum is fastened to, you need 16. If there are 12 points that your drum is fastened to, you would need 24 lengths. And to go across the hide, across the ring, and then always take an extra 5 or 10 at least so that you have enough to do the handle. You want to identify which side of the hide is the outside of the hide and which side is the inside. This is the outside of the hide. You can see that that's the area that will have the hair. You want this on the face of your drum. So where your drum beater will hit, you want the outside of the hide. This is the inside of the hide. You can see it's fleshy and usually scrape marks from cleaning the hide. Place the outside of the hide down, the inside of the hide up, and center your ring. Cut your sinew at an angle to make it easy for lacing. Start your lacing at your north point. Always enter from the outside of the hide in. And then through the back side of the hide and out. To begin, snug and pull through a length across the drum and leave that point laying across the drum. It should look like this with all the extra sinew off the edge with your 12 o'clock or north point lined up. Make sure that the sinew is going over the hide as you see, as this will tighten the hide, and all of them will look like this as we cross across the hide back and forth in a clockwise motion. Lacing it directly across. Always entering from the outside of the hide to the inside, and then back out from the inside to the outside. Snug it tight and even so your ring is centered. Be sure to not tighten the hide too much. As you lace, we will snug it tighter later. Leave space so that you can adjust your hide as you're lacing. As you move to your first step here of going to the approximately 1 o'clock position and selecting your next place to connect your lacing. And now crossing over to your 6 or 7 o'clock position or your southwest position. Pulling the lacing through and snugging it so that the spacing is correct around your entire ring with every step that you take, continuing to adjust it and make it look even to the. And now from the southwest position to the east position, or the 3 o'clock mark. Simply continuing directly across in a clockwise motion until all of your lacing is complete. Continue to snug the hide nicely and evenly. It will look approximately like this. And all of this will be tightened in the next few steps. However, it seems to look a little random at first. This is all right. Just continue to do even spacing and even tension as you tighten your hide. Continue to increase the tension all the way around the lacing, just repeating the cycles, snugging the sinew quite firm. Now pulling tight, tightening your sinew strings, making them very tight now. You want to be pulling the hide so that it puckers like this, and that will tighten the hide around the drum. Continuing to tighten the hide around the drum. All the sinew is very tight. Pulled very tightly around the drum. Pulling pressure on the hide, stretching it. And now taking the original end lace that we let lay across the drum and lacing it directly below from 12 till 6 o'clock or north to south, as you can see, and lacing underneath the strings into the open space. And we're going to start to cinch and tighten the strings in, pulling it straight down so that it is snug, and then getting ready to draw the sinew back. Pulling it back after it is wrapped around, starts to pull all the other strings into alignment. So to loop it under, through the space, and then pull it back to the 12 o'clock or north position, and it starts to pull all the strings. You want to pull it to the center point. So keep looking until it forms the center point as you pull, and then squeeze that with your thumb and forefinger to keep it tight while you place your tying knots. Tie 3 half knots. Taking the other loose end string and lacing it directly across, entering into one of the divisions to pull it back into the center point. So again, doing it with the other side and pulling it back to the center point and tying so that both loose ends are now wrapped and pulled so that the drum looks like this in the center point, and put 3 more half knots. Now that your drum has been tightened and tied, that part is complete. So now we move to develop your handle. And as we tighten the handle, we'll weave in and out of the strings to create a weaving pattern which will tighten the strings and tune them. So be sure to pull tight and weave around any slackness They should all be snug and tight with no slackness, so continue to weave and pull them in until they are all very snug and strong. And you just weave in and out. As you go around each cycle, you'll see the way the pattern changes, and you'll need to weave over the top of 2 of the lines. You'll see as you weave around the pattern change, where you'll need to adjust it to keep the weave going above and below with each circle. Continue to keep your mind clear and your heart open. Continuing to circle in and out, weaving in a spiral, creating your handle for your drum. Tightening and tuning as you go. Starting to develop your weaving pattern, you can reach your hand in and test the grip to see what size you want to create. You can stop at any time when it becomes comfortable and sits well in your hand. When you are finished, trim your sinew so that you may start tying the knots to complete your drum. Tie a minimum of 3 half knots, continuing from one string to the next. Continue until you have your final knot with about 1 inch left on your string, and tightening your final knot. You can snug your handle. We're going to pop through the final end of the lace so that we can tuck it away and trim it so that your handle is smooth all around to the touch. Popping it through a snug spot in the handle and trimming the final string off, giving thanks and gratitude to the spirit of the drum. Your drum weaving is now complete. And now we will tighten the hide around the edges to ensure a nice fit and great sound. You should have the hide looking like this. Time to tighten the loose parts of the hide around the drum. First, be sure that the hide has the puckers in between the laces all the way around. Pull as much hide as you can up through those puckers to tighten the loose hide in between. Now with the electrician's tape, we will start wrapping the outside of the drum, at first snug, making sure that the hide looks how you want all the way around as you do this. The hide will dry as you see it. We want to put some tension on the tape to snug the drum, but not so much tension that the drum cannot dry properly. So quite snug, but not extreme. Continue to wrap the tape, snugging the hide tighter and tighter so that it is directly against the wood drum. The entire hide is now snugged around the top and around the side. You have done very well. Now you're ready to bless the drum and dry it. Using the sacred Native American tobacco, hold in your hand and sprinkle the tobacco on the hide to bring a blessing during its curing. Tobacco offering to the inside of your drum. Tobacco offering to Mother Earth. And your drum is ready to dry. Allow your drum to dry for 24 hours. Remove the tape And at a total of 48 hours, your drum will be ready to play. Depending on the warmth of your home, the drumming time may vary. However, simply test it, and you'll begin to hear the sound come alive. I hope you enjoy your beautiful new drum. Many blessings to you.